Alrighty, it is just another Manic Monday. Of course, we're watching this on Monday. I'm recording this on Saturday for premiere. And the rotation now takes us to replay baseball. And we're coming to you from a June 3rd game played in 1980, the actual game between the Dodgers and the Reds from Dodger Stadium. And pretty good pitching matchup on the mound today. It's Bob Welch for the Dodgers against Terrific Tom Seaver of the Reds. So we'll get everything set up here, get this ready to go. Let's make sure everything is in view. Got the score sheet there. Ballpark will be here. All right, here's Bob Welch's card. And if you notice on Bob Welch, he's got C6 on the column 4 here. That means he's a fly ball pitcher. So they're taking away 2 of the ground ball fielding chances and moving them over to fly balls. So if we roll on the fielding chance and we get either one of these 2 blocks, it's not only going to move Bob Welch over to column 6, it's going to move whatever the batter result is over to column 6 as well for fly ball results. So there's Bob Welch. He will get the start for the Dodgers. Go through the lineups relatively quickly. For the Reds, it'll be leading off in right field, Dave Collins. Batting second, playing second base, Ron Oster. Hitting third at short is Dave Concepcion. Batting cleanup will be the left fielder, George Foster. Hitting fifth at first base is Dan Dreesen. Batting sixth and playing third base is Ray Knight. Batting seventh and playing center field, Cesar Geronimo. Batting eighth and catching, Don Warner. Just giving Johnny Bench the game off. He did pinch hit in this game, Johnny Bench did. So they're just giving Don Warner the start. And then Tom Seaver's hitting off pitcher hitting card number 1. All right, so we are pretty much ready to go, I do believe. Let's put the cards here. Hopefully you can see them better that way. Stadium card right there. Hopefully everything is in a good spot where it picks up on camera. That's what I'm hoping. And as I'm looking through the phone, it looks like that's a pretty good way to get things going. We'll push the score sheet back just a tad so you can hopefully see this top of the first that's coming up. And no offense to Replay Baseball's red, white, and blue dice, but they're awful small, so I brought out the big boys. So we're going to be using that today. And we will do the Dodgers lineup when they come to bat. Debating about whether or not to use this flip book to show the results on camera. Don't know how cumbersome that would be. I've got the board up here. It's out of view that I can just simply read off of and tell you what the results are. But sometimes what I may do on key plays is bring the book out and show it to you what the actual play looks like. All right, so ready to go in here on Manic Monday. Hope your weekend went well. Hopefully people will get a chance to chat. Replay games usually take, when I'm doing a video anyway, they usually take 45 to 50 minutes, even for a pitcher's duel. So it should offer plenty of chances to socialize and whatnot, even if you're not that much of a fan of the game itself. All right, so Dave Collins, switch hitter, going to lead off against Bob Welch. And just as a review, it is red, white, and blue is how they're read. And in this case, we get right away we get a left-right split chance. That 3-6 column, so column 3, row 6, takes you to the left-right split. Dave Collins is a switch hitter, so he automatically gets the base hit. And if you notice, there's also a little asterisk behind that number. That means he's going to get a chance to steal right away. So this one we will show in the book because it's a stolen base steal. So let's get that out there. And the stolen base method, there's a couple of them in the book, but the one I prefer is back here, where you use the pitcher hold and catcher defensive grid to get a number, and then the result takes care of itself. So what happens is when you have that symbol of an asterisk, you roll 2 dice and read them replay style. If the dice roll is equal to or less than the combined stolen base defensive rating, the runner holds. If it's higher, he steals. So he cannot be caught stealing. He's either going to hold or he's going to steal. This is not a caught stealing chance. It's either a hold or a steal. So we look at Mike Scioscia, who's the catcher in this game. And Mike Scioscia, he is a 3 rated defensive catcher. And the hold rating on Welch, he is a 3 also. So we cross-reference 3 and 3, get a number of 36. So we need to roll 2 d6s. And if the combined total is 36 or less, then that means he will hold. If it's higher than 36, he'll get the stolen base. So if we roll this exact roll again, 36, he will hold or less. But if we roll, say, a 56, he will steal. All right, if it's a, I don't think there's any combination. Is there a chance? I thought somewhere there was a chance that if you rolled 66, oh no, it's on the plus sign. If it's 61 or higher, it's a possible E2. But on this one, there's no possible E2. We're just looking for a 37 or higher to get that steal. And it's on 12, so it's less than that. So Collins had to hold. So he wasn't able to get a jump. So he will hold at first base. No stolen base for Collins. But he is on with a single. And that'll bring up Ron Oster, another switch hitter. And that's a 6-5-5. 6-5 for Oster is a 31. 6-5 for Welch is a 2. That's a 33. 33 in column 6 is a pop up to second base, and that's 1 away. So 1 down for Dave Concepcion, shortstop, number 3 hitter. 5-2-6. 5-2 is a 27. 5-6 is a 5. That's a 32 in column 5. 32 in column 5 is a fly out to left field. Out number 2. I'll bring up George Foster. Collins still at first base. 3-3 is a 14. That could be a base hit. 3-2 is a 1. That's a total of 15 in column 3. And it's a line out to second. So that 14, if you got a 16 or higher, it would have been a hit. But since we hit the 1 columns here on Welch, who's good at controlling hits, that only made it a 15, which kept it as a line out to second. Had he rolled on the 2 spot, that would have made that a 16, and that would have been a triple. But Welch was able to fend that off. And so instead of a triple, it's just a line out to second. And that's where 1 number can be critical. 1 rating number can be very critical in this game. So nothing doing for the Reds. Started out nice with the single, but nothing came of it after that. All right, so Tom Terrific Seaver is on the mound for the Reds. He has none of that fly ball quality, so all of his column 4 has just the regular infielder ratings. Go through the lineups for the Dodgers. Leading off, playing second base will be Davey Lopes. Batting second in center field, Rudy Law. Hitting third at right field, Reggie Smith. Batting cleanup is the first baseman, Steve Garvey. Batting fifth is Dusty Baker in left field. Ron Say the Penguin hits sixth. He'll play third base. Bill Russell, not the Boston Celtics legend, but the other Bill Russell, will play shortstop and bat seventh. And Mike Scioscia, getting a rare opportunity to play in his rookie season, he is going to bat eighth and catch. And then Bob Welch uses pitcher hitting card number 3. All right, so Davey Lopes, another speedster, on the mound, or I'm sorry, at the plate to face Tom Terrific. We get a 2-6. Now 2-6 is going to take us immediately to the shaded area in orange, which directs us to the ballpark. So the ballpark, we're in column 2. So we're looking here, we're going to roll the 2d6s again and get a number, and that's going to correspond to a number here that's going to possibly replace that number 3. That's the little number above the 55 here. So right now it's a 3, but that can change based on the ballpark roll. We'll keep the blue die as a 4 for reference, but we're going to re-roll the red and white die. And we get a 23. 23 now has dropped this to a 2. So it was a 3 right here, but the ballpark has brought it down to a 2. So that basically means that the outfielder only needs a range of 3 to make the catch because it's been lowered to a 2. Now it's a 55, and we're going to add 4 from Seaver on column 2. That makes it a 57. So 57 in column 2. The blue die is a 4, which means we're checking the center fielder. That's Geronimo. Geronimo has a range of 4, so he would have caught it had it stayed to 3, but he definitely catches it with a 2 there. So it's an easy fly out for Geronimo. He makes the catch, 1 away. All right, that brings up Rudy Law, center fielder. 4-1-5, so now we're in a fielding chance. 4-1 is a 31. That's an awful high number. That usually means a bunt. 4 is a 31. 4-5 is the shortstop, Russell. Russell is a 2. So that makes that a 33 in column 4. And a 33 in column 4 has to come all the way down here. It's a pop-up to the fielder. Runners holds. So it's a pop-up to short. And there's 2 away. Because the fielding only goes up to 30. So when you get those 30 to 39, then you go to a little chart here down at the bottom that talks about that. All right, so 2 up, 2 down. Here's Reggie Smith, switch hitting right fielder. 5-5-2. 5-5 is a 20. 5-2 is a 3. It's a 23, and 23 is a walk. And not only is it a walk, but we're going to go to action column M for the next result. So we bring in the action chart, and we're looking at column M. So we're looking at either wild pitch, pass ball, pick off, something along those lines. Roll all 3 dice, but just total up the red and white. That's a 6, total of 6. 6 says wild pitch B 0. So we go over here, it says if pitcher's wild pitch rating is 0, scored a wild pitch. Well, Seaver's wild pitch rating is a 3, so that fails. If catcher's pass ball rating is a 0, score pass ball. Well, unfortunately for the Reds, Warner has a 0 pass ball rating, so it is a pass ball. So not having bench in there certainly cost them. That is a pass ball. So Reggie Smith will go to third. And Garvey, chance to bring him home. 3-4. 3-4 is an 11. He'll probably do it with that 11. I think that's going to be well, you never know. 3-11, he might not do it. 3-4 is an 11. 3-6 is a 3 on Seaver. Makes a total of 14. 14 in column 3 is a line out to third base, so he did get him. So Seaver pitched around that pass ball. And after 1 complete from Chavez Ravine, we are 0-0. Goose eggs on the board. Bob Welch back out to face Dan Dreesen to lead the top of the second. Dreesen, 5-6-3. 5-6 is a 5. 5-3 is a 3. It's a total of 8 in column 5, and that is a walk. So a walk to Dan Dreesen to start the top of the second. And we move on to Ray Knight, otherwise known as Nancy Lopez's husband. I guess they're still married. I don't know. Don't follow that. 4-5. 4-5 is a 1. 4-4 is a shortstop, ground ball to short. Had we got a 4-5, had that blue die been a 5, it would have been a fly ball chance. But instead it's a 4. So it's just to the shortstop, Bill Russell. Bill Russell is a 2. So we had the 1 and the 2, we get a 3. And with the runner on first, a column 4 infield halfway, number 3 is a double play. So that is a tailor-made 6-4-3 double play. So Ray Knight hits into the double play. 2 down for Cesar Geronimo. 4-4. 4-4 is a 5. 4-6 is the second baseman Lopes. Lopes is a 4. That's a total of 9. So 9 in column 4 with the infield back is still a regular ground out, no problems. And the inning is over. So the Reds are gone in the top of the second. We go to the bottom of the second, still 0-0. Seaver will now be facing Dusty Baker. Baker, 4-3. 4-3 is a 16. 4-3 is the third baseman, Ray Knight. Ray Knight is a 2. So we add the 2 to the 16, get an 18, and with the infield back, that is a regulation grounder, 5-3. So 1 away for Ron Say. Ron Say. 3-1-3 is what he says. 3-1 is a 31. 3-3 is a 1, so 32 in column 3, and that is a line out to right field for out number 2. And again, Seaver being that 1 helped out. With that 32, if you added as much as a 2 to that, I'm sorry, 31. If you'd have added 2 more to that, or 3 more to that, 34 would have been a double. So had that blue die been a 5 or a 6, that would have been a double. But since the blue die was a 3 and hit that 1, it's a fly out to right. So again, that's where the ratings within 1 or 2 numbers. That's what makes this game so unique, is the ratings, you look at them, one number can be a world of difference. Here's Bill Russell, 3-5. 3-5 is in the shaded area again. Right now it's a 3, but we're going to bring in the ballpark again. Column 3. Roll 2 dice, see what we get. Right now it's a 3, but it could change to a 1, 2, 4, 5, or 62, depending on, oops, the blue die was a 3. Depending on what this roll is. It's a 24, it's a 2. So it's going to drop from a 3 to a 2. And then the 3 here on column 3 for Seaver is a 1. So that's a total of 3 in column 3, and that's a dribbler to the catcher for the final out of the inning. So nothing doing for the Dodger blue, and as we go to the third, it's still nothing. Nice pitching matchup between Welch and Seaver here on a Manic Monday. All right, bottom of the order for the Reds, it'll be Don Warner. Only hit 172 on the season. 2-6, and he goes to the ballpark check again. So we're going to again invoke Dodger Stadium, column 2. Let's bring Dodger Stadium close by. Column 2, we're going to roll these two D6s again. It's a 2 right now, but that could change. And that's a 61. So 61 is actually going to make this a 4 right here in column 2. That changes to a 4. So that 2 changes to a 4, which means it's probably going to be a base hit. All right, we got a 6 here. So a 61 in column 2 is a chance for a, let's see here, 55. That's what we started with. And a 6 in column 2 is a 3 on Welch. So that makes it a 58. 58 is a looping liner. The blue die is a 6, which means you're checking the left fielder. Left fielder for the Dodgers is Dusty Baker. He is a 4, but you have to be greater than 4 to catch this because of the results. Had it stayed a 2, he would have caught it, but since it's now a 4, that's going to fall in for a base hit. So Don Warner, of all people, gets the first base, well, it's actually the second base hit for the Reds because Collins led off with a hit. So Warner gets the base hit. That's going to allow Seaver to bunt. I mean, that's going to set up perfectly for a bunt. So we'll go to our bunt chart. Let's get the bunt chart out. It's on the back of that trifold, but I don't want to disturb the trifold, so I'll just go to the bunt chart that's in the spiral bound book and bring that out so you can see the bunt play. And there's a bunt chart right here based on the rating of the bunter. Now Seaver, on his pitching card, it shows, let's see here, I believe it shows he is a bunt 3. Well, he's using hitting card number 1, which definitely shows bunt rating of 3. So he's a 3 bunter, which is, so-so. The infield's going to be in because they're expecting it. So we're going to look at this column right here, roll 2 D6s plus the blue die to see who fields it. But we're going to add the red and white to total between 2 and 12 and see what we get. And then the blue die is going to tell us who fields it. So that's a 2 with the snake eyes there. So with the infield in on a 3, it's a sacrifice plus E. So we go to our sacrifice plus E reference. It says fielder has trouble fielding bunt. Oh, and now Tabby wants to get up on the table. No, Tabby, stay down. Roll against the fielder's error rating. If higher, batter is safe on an error and runners advance 1 base. If not higher, fielder recovers to retire the batter on a sacrifice bunt. Well, who is the fielder? The blue die is a 4, means we're checking the first baseman. So we are checking Steve Garvey. Steve Garvey is a 3. So what this says to do is roll 1 D6. If it's 4, 5, or 6, it'll be an error. 1, 2, and 3, he will make the play. So 4, 5, or 6, and we got an E3 on Garvey. And we do, it's a 6. So it's an E3 on Garvey. So give Seaver credit for the sacrifice. He gets the sacrifice hit plus an E3. So he does get credit for the sacrifice, and then there's an error that moves Warner to second base. So now we got runners at first and second with nobody out. And the first real threat of the game, here's Dave Collins, top of the order. He also could bunt, but oh, Tabby's just being vocal. Do you want me to bunt, Tabby? I guess Tabby wants me to bunt. All right, Tabby, we'll bunt again. All right, so Collins is also a 3 bunter, so we're going to bring out the bunt play again. We'll bring that right back out. Try it again. Go through the same results. It's an 11 this time. So an 11 says fielder's chance error question mark. So fielder's chance error question mark. Fielder fields ball quickly but bobbles it. Roll against fielder's error rating. If higher, batter is safe on an error. Okay, if it's not higher, he retires lead runner on a fielder's choice. All right, so either going to make the error or it's going to be a fielder's choice. In this case, it's a blue die, so again, we're checking Steve Garvey's error rating. Can he make 2 errors in a row is the question. He does not. This time he fields it because it's less than a 4. So the 2 means he fields it, and he actually gets the force play on the lead runner. So that's going to be a 3-6 fielder's choice. So that time the bunt really didn't pay off. Collins reaches on the fielder's choice, but now there's 1 away with runners at first and second. The runners could not advance. And sorry, Tabby, your strategy didn't pay off. All right, here's Ron Oster. 1-2-5. 1-2 is a 2. 1-5 is a 2. It's total 4, and that's a strikeout. Anything less than 6 in column 1 is a strikeout. That's out number 2, so now it's up to Dave Concepcion if the Reds want to capitalize on having those 2 runners on early. 1-5. 1-5 is a 2. 1-2 is a 2. That's a 4. It's another strikeout. So Welch, Bob Ebony Eyes Welch, comes up and strikes out the last 2 to get out of that jam. And we go to the bottom of the third, still nothing. So disappointment there for the Reds. Let's see if Seaver can keep the Dodgers off the board as well. Here is Mike Scioscia. 5-1. 5-1 is a 4. 5-2 is a 3. That's a 7. 7 is a walk. So Seaver must have walked a fair amount of batters because he has no 1s here. Everything is 3s and 4s and 5s mostly. So a leadoff walk to Scioscia, and now turnabout is fair play. That will allow Mr. Welch to bunt. So Welch is a 3 rated bunter again on number 3. So we're going to bring the bunt chart right back out. And again, we're in this same column we've been using. It's a 6. So this time on a 6, it's a sacrifice plus potential error. All right, so sac plus E. This is what we've been going through for I don't know how long. And we're going to check the blue die, which is a 2, which means we're checking the pitcher. So this time the pitcher is in question. The pitcher, Seaver, is a 3 defender. So it says here that if the roll is higher, so again, 1, 2, 3, and Seaver will field it. 4, 5, 6, he will boot it. 6, so he boots it. It's E1. So Seaver commits the error on the bunt, and you also give a sacrifice plus an error. So it's almost like a carbon copy of the top of the inning. 2-1, nobody out for Davey Lopes, but Lopes is not bunting. He's swinging away. 5-1. 5-1 is a 4, and 5-5 is a 4. It's an 8. An 8 is another walk. It says if it's an 8, if bases are loaded, count as 2 balls, but the bases are not loaded. They are now with that walk. That does load the bases. So 2 walks and a error on a sacrifice bunt have loaded the bases with nobody out, and Seaver is in all sorts of trouble. Bases are loaded. Here's Rudy Law. They're going to play the infield in. They're going to try to cut that run off early. 1-3. He needs a strikeout in the worst way. He might get it. 1-3 is a 5. 1-4 is a 2. That's a 7. 7 in column 1 is a pop out to second base. Pop out to second base. And infield fly rule, everybody's going to have to hold right where they are. 1 away. That'll bring up Reggie Smith. Now the infield's at double play depth, trying to turn 2 and get out of this. 1-2, well, you might get a strikeout. 1-2 is a 1. 1-6 is a 2. That is a strikeout. So Seaver, much like Welch, trying to pitch out of the jam, and he's got 2 outs now with Steve Garvey to the plate, bases loaded, and infield normal depth now. 6-4 is a 41. That's trouble for Seaver. 6-6 is a 5. That's a total of 46. 46 is a line hit to left field. Runners advance 1 base on the single. A chance for extra bases. So right now we know it's a single for Garvey, and the run Scioscia will score. Now, the question is, will Welch score? It says, roll one die against the outfielder's defensive rating. If the die is higher, score to double. Well, the blue die is a 6, which means we're checking the right fielder. And in this case, for the Reds, the right fielder is Collins. He's a 3. So if we roll anything higher than a 3, this becomes a double. And it does. So it's a double, which means that Welch is going to score as well. And Lopes is going to at least get to third, if not score. Let's see if there's an option for him to score since it's a double. All right, since it's a double, it says, if there was a runner on first, which there was, roll one die against the outfielder's arm. If the die is higher, runner scores. Outfielder arm is a 2 for Dave Collins. So this is anything other than a 1 or a 2, then Lopes will come around to score as well. And he does. So it's a base clearing double. How about that? Steve Garvey, a 2-out base clearing double. And all of a sudden it's 3-0. And all these runs are unearned because of the error on Seaver. Kept the inning going. Should have been an out back here, so that strikeout would have been the 3rd out, but all these runs are unearned. Here's Baker. Not that it matters to Seaver right now. 6-5 for Baker is a 16. 6-4 is a 4. It's a 20. 20 in column 6 is a deep fly out to right field to end the inning. Would have been a sac fly had there been a runner at third and less than 2 outs. But the damage was already done. 3 runs, all unearned, come in. And after 3 complete from Chavez Ravine, it's the Dodgers 3, the Reds nothing. Seaver really kicking himself for missing that sacrifice bunt and causing the whole situation to occur. And Steve Garvey took advantage. Here's George Foster. 4-6. 4-6 for Foster. There's a little fly in here, a gnat or something. Got in here, I don't know how. 4-6 is a 1. So that's going to be a ground out, obviously. 4-5. Well, it won't be because 4-5, remember, it's going to change it to a C6. So we're going to take this 1 from Foster, move it over here, give him an 11. And then we're going to change this C6 over here to a 2 because we're going to go from column 4 to column 6. That's a 2. 2 and 11 is a 13. That's a home run for George Foster. So huge difference there between a ground out and a home run. And since Foster was going to move from this 1 to this 11, that took him to a home run. So basically changed that result from a 4-6 to a 6-6 on the batter, and he changes from a 4-5 to a 6-5 on the pitcher. And that's what happened. So George Foster, home run, and all of a sudden it's only 3-1. Here's Dreesen. 3-4. 3-4 is an 11 plus, so he's going to reach almost guaranteed here. Well, not guaranteed. It could be. It's going to be an error check. 3-4 and a 4-4 is a shortstop. That's Russell. Russell's a 2. That's an 11. Gives him a 13, which means we're checking the error rating. Russell's a 43. So if we roll anything higher than 43, it will be an error. And we do. We roll a 66. So that is an error on Russell, and that will allow Dreesen to reach. And now he must steal because of that plus sign. That means he must attempt to steal. And if he's not successful, he will be caught. It's no holding here. It's you go and then you either make it or you don't. So we go back to the stolen base reference, and we already know, or do we? Let's see here. Welch is a 3, and I think so should. Yeah, we already know that the pitcher catcher defensive grid is a 3-3, which is a 36. So with the plus sign, he's going to be caught stealing. If this number is, if we roll 36 or less, he will be caught stealing. 61 or more could be a catcher error. It's 23, so he's caught stealing. So Dan Dreesen reached on the error, but then got caught stealing. So he's out of there. Bases are empty now with 1 out for Ray Knight. It's kind of a bonehead play to do that when you're down 3-1, but I guess they're just trying to be aggressive. 6-2 for Knight is a 9. 6-3 for Welch is a 1. That's a 10. And a 10 on column 6 is a base hit. A base hit to Ray Knight. And back come the Reds. Here's Cesar Geronimo. Geronimo, 3-4. That's a 19. And a 3-4 is a 1. It's a 20 in column 3. And a 20 in column 3 is a fly out to right field for out number 2. That brings up Don Warner. He reached on a unlikely single last time. 4-6 is a 1. 4-2 though is going to take it to the again to the column 6 because we hit right here with that C6. So Warner, instead of a 1 here, he's going to get a 60, and instead of a C column 4 here, we're going to get a 1 here. So that's a 61 because it went basically from a 4-6 to a 6-6 and from a 4-2 to a 6-2. So that makes it 61 in column 6. 61 in column 6 is a double into the corner. And it says runners advance 2 bases with 2 outs. Runner on with 4 or 5 speed will score. Ray Knight, I don't think has 4 or 5 speed. We'll check him. Nope, he's a 3, so he will not score. But it is a double from Don Warner, so unlikely for Don Warner. And that's twice now that the fly ball situation has cost Bob Welch. But now he might get out of it because here's Seaver. 2 outs and 2 on. 2-6 for Seaver is a 5, and a 2-3 is a 2. Total of 7 in column 2, and that is a foul out to second base. And the inning is over. So all of that, and the Reds only get the 1 run based on the home run, and that caught stealing of Dan Dreesen really comes back to bite him when you get that Warner double. That really cut into the chances of scoring more runs. We go to the bottom of the 4th. It is 3-1 Dodgers, and now Miss Tabby is scratching to get out of the room, so let me go take care of Miss Tabby. Come on, Tabby. All right, there you go. All right, now maybe I'll get some peace and quiet to finish the game out until she comes scratching to come back in. She does that a lot. In and out, in and out, in and out. Okay. She's had her nap today, so she's all feisty. All right, here's Ron Say to lead off against Seaver. 6-1 is a 31, and a 6-5 is a 5. That's a 36. That is a fly out to right field. So Ron Say is gone. Here's Bill Russell. 4-6 is a 4, and a 4-6 is second baseman. Second baseman is Oster. He's a 2. Total of 6 in column 4. That is an easy ground out. So 2 down for Mike Scioscia. Walked and scored his first trip. 2-3 is a 5. 2-1 is a 1. It's a total of 6, and that's a strikeout. So Seaver correcting the boat here in the 4th. We go to the 5th. It's Dodgers 3, Reds 1. And top of the order for the Reds, it'll be Dave Collins. Try to get something going. 6-6, that's a good way to do it. Now we have a split chance right here. 6-6, Dave Collins, that's a split chance. 16 against, if he's facing a lefty, it becomes a 16, which is going to automatically be a fly out. But against a right-hander, it's only an 8, so that's guaranteed to be a hit. Possibly a home run, but at least guaranteed to be hit. So that's an 8 from Dave Collins. And we have a 6-5 from Welch, makes it a 2. It's a total of 10, that's his leadoff single. Had it been a 3 here, that would have been 11 and been a chance for a home run, but as it is, it's a Dave Collins single. So Collins reaches again. That'll bring up Ron Oster. Popped to second and struck out. 6-3 is a 31. 6-5 is a 2. That's a 33. And 33 is a pop out to second. So 1 out as Oster fails in his attempt to do anything. Here's Concepcion. He's also 0 for 2. 2-5 is a 16. 2-6 is a 3. That's a 19 in column 2. 19 in column 2 is a fly out to center field. Out number 2. That'll bring up George Foster. He's certainly capable of tying the game with 1 swing of the bat. 2-2. He will get the base hit though. At 11 in column 2 is a guaranteed base hit. So it's an 11 there, and 2-6 is a 3. It's a 14. That's a base hit. Base hit to center field. Now we'll check base runner advancement for Collins. It says here, runner advances 1 base with 2 outs. Runner on second scores on throw home runner. So it doesn't say anything about him going to third. It just says if he was on second, he would score with 2 outs. But he's going to stop at second base. So runners are at first and second, 2 outs. And that brings up Dan Dreesen. 5-5 is a 20. 5-5 is a 4. 24 in column 5 is a walk. And we go to action chart M. So it's a walk to load the bases. And now we'll see what action chart M has to say. And M, of course, is that wild pitch pickoff type stuff. So we're going to roll and see what happens here. It's a 6. A 6 says wild pitch 0. So Welch has a wild pitch rating of 2, so he does not commit a wild pitch. Socha's pass ball rating is a 4, so he does not commit a pass ball. So nothing happens, basically. So everything's a disaster was averted there by the Dodgers. So it'll be up to Ray Knight with the bases loaded and 2 outs. Singled his last trip. 3-1 is a 13. 3-4 is a 1. It's a total of 14 in column 3, and that is a line out to third base, and that's going to end the inning. So all that, and the Reds get nothing and like it. We go to the bottom of the 5th. Still 3-1 Dodgers. Seaver back out. We'll be facing Bob Welch. He will lead things off. 4-5. 4-5 is a 4. And a 4-2 is a 3. I'm sorry, 4. I can't speak yet, can I? Let me get this right. 4-5 is a 17. I had to get my column straight. 4-5 is a 17. 4-2 is the second baseman Oster, who's a 2. It's a total of 19. 19 in column 4 is a regular ground out. So a 4-3 is the first out of the inning. Back to the top of the order, and Davey Lopes. 1-6 is a 45, and that's an instantaneous strikeout. With nobody on base, it's an automatic strikeout. All right, so we go to Rudy Law. 2-2, and he will reach base because that's an 11. That means he's going to reach. 2-2 there is a 1. That's a 12. A 12 is still a base hit. So Seaver gives up the base hit to Rudy Law, but that's a plus sign, so Rudy Law is going to have to try to steal. And he's either going to get caught or he's going to make it. He cannot hold. So we go back once again. And this time we're checking a different set of pitcher-catcher ratings. Hold rating on Seaver is a 1, and the defensive rating on Warner is a 1. So we got a 1-1, which is here is a 16. 16. So we got to roll less than 16 for him to be caught stealing. Anything 17 or higher will be a successful steal. That's 46, so that's a successful steal. So this battery combination for the Reds is not good at all at holding runners on. So Rudy Law gets the single plus the stolen base with 2 outs. He's in scoring position for Reggie Smith. 4-4-4 all across the board. 4-4 is an 11. 4-4 is the shortstop Russell. He is a 2. It's a 13. It's a chance of an error because it's anything 12 through 16 you check an error. This is a 13. His error rating's a 43, so we're going to roll and see if we can keep it under 43, which we can. It's an 11, so he will make the play. And it's the third out of the inning. I'm sorry, I should have been checking the shortstop, not Russell. The shortstop, Concepcion, he's a 52, so it's even better. He will definitely make the play. He's even a better shortstop than Russell is, so he definitely made that play, and the inning is over. So we go to the top of the 6th, still 3-1 men in blue. Welch now, his fatigue rating pretty much is 7 innings, so he's still good to go for a couple more innings. Seaver is also 7 inning fatigue, so we'll see what happens here. Now Seaver's coming up to bat, but I think they're going to let him go ahead and bat this inning because he only went 5 innings so far, so we'll see what happens, how it plays out. 4-6 is an 11, and a 4-1 is the first baseman, Garvey. He's a 3, total of 14, which is an error check, but Garvey is a 56, so we have to roll higher than 56 for it to be an error. And we did. It's a 61, so how about that? Steve Garvey, a rare boot. He's not happy about it, but he does commit the error. And here's Don Warner, Mr. Everything, all of a sudden. He's singled and doubled. 6-3, he won't get it this time. 6-3 is a 16. 6-6 is a 3, it's a 19. That is a deep fly to left, and there's one away. So that brings up Seaver. Now the question is, do you pinch hit for Seaver? And this is where the strategy of the National League comes into play a little bit. I think it's too early. I think we're going to let Seaver hit. In fact, we're going to let him bunt. He's a 3 bunter. We get a 9 on the bunt chart. A 9. Oops, that's action chart, not bunt chart. My bad. Let me get the bunt chart back out, which is in the trifold. Or not in the trifold, in the spiral bound, I should say. Get the bunt chart back out. Okay, he's a 3, so we're looking here again in this area. A 9 is a foul 2K. That means he's got 2 strikes on him. So now we can try to bunt again, or let him swing away. We're going to try to bunt again. We get a 3. So a 3 this time is a pop out. So he's going to pop out to the first baseman Garvey, and that's going to be 2 away. So failed bunt for Seaver. Takes us back to Dave Collins. 6-3 is a 31. 6-5 is a 2. It's a 33. Let's pop out the second to end the 6th inning. So nothing doing for the Reds here in the top of the 6th. Bob Welch, 6 strong innings. Dodgers lead it 3-1. Seaver looking to keep it that way. He's going to be facing Steve Garvey, who hit him for that big double back in the 3rd. Produced all 3 runs. 2-3. 2-3 is a 3. Seaver will get his revenge. 2-3 is a 3. 2-4 is a 2. That's a 5. And that's a strikeout. So Seaver gets his revenge on Garvey. 1 away. Here's Baker. 2-6 is a back to the ballpark check, as we're in that orange section. So we're going to re-roll again here in column 2. Right now the number is a 4, but that can change. That's a 46. So it changes to a 3. So it drops from a 4 to a 3 based on the ballpark. And the blue die being a 1 means we're checking the left fielder. So the left fielder, left fielder is George Foster. He's a 5. So he would have gotten it either way. So he will make the catch because it's a 5 defender. And that's definitely higher than 3, obviously. So he will make the play. The only way he wouldn't have caught that is if that had changed to a 5. If that had changed to a 5, he would not have caught that. But you would have had to roll 62 through 66 to do that. So 2 out, spaces empty for Ron Say. 1-4, 35. 1-3 is a 2, 37. That's a ground out to second. And the inning is over. So 6 innings are in the books. It's still Dodgers 3, Reds 1. And top of the 7th is where we need to start watching for fatigue potentially. Also 27 batters faced is another factor. Let's see how many he's faced so far. He has faced, well, he's faced 28, so he's right there. But I do believe you get a boost, and this is the part of the game that since I don't play it very often, it's a little shaky on me, is the boost of the pitcher. So I think it says alternate endurance rules. Let's see. Let's see here. Complete game rating. All right, here it says here. From the 7th inning on, whenever a starter reaches his batter face limit as has allowed not more than 3 runs or his ERA rounded down to the whole number, whichever is larger, he rolls 1 die against his complete game rating. So his complete game rating is that number 3 right there, that 3 on top. So we're going to roll 1 die against that 3. It's a 6. Okay, it says if the die is higher, he is given a boost to his batter face rating equal to the raised number beside his S rating. Oh, it must have been a 4. I'm sorry, 4 was his complete game rating. The number raised next to his S rating is his 3. So he's going to be given a batter's face boost of 3. Okay, so he's got 3 more batters to go before he would get fatigued. So we'll see if he can handle that. And shooting on the wide, Bill Russell up there. It's not Bill Russell's turn to bat. It's Ron Oster's turn to bat. Got the players mixed up. All right, so here's Oster facing Welch. Dodger bullpen is active. 6-1 is a 31. 6-1 is a 1. It's 32. It's a pop up to third. 1 away. And here is Dave Concepcion. 2-6 for Concepcion is in the shaded area again. So right now it's a 3, but of course that can change. And it's a 42, so 42 is going to keep it a 3. So it stays a 3, no change. Blue die is a 2. Blue die being a 2 means we're looking at the left fielder, that is Dusty Baker. Dusty Baker's range is a 4, which is higher than the 3, so he will make the catch. So Dusty Baker with a good range is able to get that. 2 up, 2 down for George Foster. 3-5, 3-5. We're in the shaded area again. Right now it's a 3, but that can certainly change. That's a 61, so that's going to change to a 4. So 61, I'm sorry, it's going to change to a 5 because I'm in column 3, not column 2. So 61 is going to change that to a 5. Had I gotten a 62, it would have changed to a 62. But it's going to change to a 5. So that number in this box changes to a 5. The 3-3 from Welch, because that blue die is a 3, is a 1. Total of 6 in column 3, and it's still going to be a fly out to center field. So the fact that Welch is good against hits stopped that. Had it been a 2, to add to that 5 would have been a 7, would have been a base hit. But instead, it is simply a fly out to center field. So Welch still going. I mean, why? I guess you can re-roll against this fatigue thing again next inning. See if that works. All right, let's check the same thing on Seaver, I suppose. Check his batters faced. He's allowed to face 26. He has faced 18, 24 right now, so we can still go a few more batters. Here's Bill Russell. 3-1 is a 4, and a 3-6 is a 3. It's a total of 7 in column 3, and that's a single to left field. So the fact that we got that blue die being a 6 to made that a 3, that's a single. Had he used the 1 or 2 column here, it would have been a 6, which would have been a fly out to center. But since we went down here to this number 3, it became a base hit. So the Reds bullpen is loosening. We got a left-hander down there. Left-hander Dave Tomlin is loosening. Here's Scioscia. 1-5 for Scioscia is a 5. 1-4 for Seaver is a 2. It's a total of 7, and that is a pop out to second base. 1 away. Now Welch, I think they're going to go ahead and pinch hit for Welch here. He's done yeoman work, 7 innings, so why not? So we're going to pinch hit for Mr. Welch. And the pinch hitter is going to be, and very appropriate for Manic Monday, it's going to be Rick Manic Monday. So Rick Manic Monday is going to pinch hit on Manic Monday here in the 7th inning. And the bullpen looks like for the Dodgers, we got 2 lefties coming up, so they're going to go to a lefty of their own in the bullpen, Steve Howe. So Steve Howe is loosening. Will be coming in the top of the 8th. Here's Monday against Seaver. We get a 6-4-1. 6-4 is in the shaded area again for Monday. Look at that in that orange there. So we're going to re-roll on Monday. And we'll be looking here in the top row here, column 6. It's our first roll at column 6. See what happens. We get a 15. So 15 is going to change that 8 down to a 6. Drops all the way down to a 6. That takes the home run chance away, but pretty much guarantees a single. So let's see here. Seaver's a 1. That's a total of a 3 here, the 6-1. So you add that to the 6, you get a 9, and a 9 is a solid single. Check base runner advancement. Single says runners advance 1 base. Runner on second may try to score, but he's not on second, so it's just a runner advancing 1 base. So Russell will move up to second. And now, with 2 outs, with a 1 out and 2 on, Davey Lopes, the batter. Tomlin is ready if the Reds want to bring him in. If McNamara wants to bring him in, they're going to let Seaver go 1 more batter. Here's Lopes, 1-3. It's a good move. It's a 2. 1-1 is a strikeout. Because 2 and 2 is a 4. That makes it a strikeout for out number 2. And that'll bring up Rudy Law. And Tabby is scratching at the door. I knew she was going to do this to me. So before we make that pitching change decision, we need to bring in Tabby. Come on, Tabby. Come on, Ruru. Come on. All right, so now with the lefty Rudy Law coming up, the Reds will make that move to the bullpen, and we will get Dave Tomlin. So Dave Tomlin is coming on, taking over for Seaver. Dave Tomlin, lefty on lefty matchup. So Dave Tomlin will be coming on, try to get Seaver out of this jam. Lefty on lefty against Rudy Law, 2 on, 2 outs. Dodgers trying to add to that lead. 1-5. 1-5 is a 5. 1-6 is a 5. That's a total of 10. And a 10 is a pop out to first. And that's going to end the inning. So Tomlin does his job, keeps the Dodgers off the scoreboard. Close the book on Seaver now. He goes 6 2/3, gives up 3 runs, but none of them were earned. It was his error that cost everything. And we go to the 7th. 3-1 Dodgers. And Steve Howe making his way in for the Dodgers as Tommy Lasorda has made the move to Steve Howe. With a couple of lefties coming up for the Reds, Dreesen, Knight, and Geronimo. So 3 of the 4 are, 2 of the 3 rather, are left-handed. 4-3. 4-3 for Dreesen is an 18, and a 4-4 is the shortstop. That is Russell. That's a 2. That's a 20. So when you get a 20 in column 4, and I will show this because it's a little bit of an unusual thing. Column 4, a number 20. Anytime you get a 20 or 21, we go to the umpire chart. We got a 20 this time. So a 1 or 6, he'll be safe. Anything else, he will be out. It's a 1. He beat it out. So how about that? Dan Dreesen hustled and beat out that grounder for a base hit. How about that? Here's Ray Knight. 6-5. 6-5 is a 31. 6-3 is a 1. That's a 32. He's going to pop it up to third. 1 away for Geronimo. So let's see what Geronimo can do. 4-2 is a 2. 4-2 is a second baseman. Second baseman is Lopes. That's a 4. It's a total of 6. And with the infield halfway, a 2 through 6 is a double play chance. However, again, I'll show this. Whenever you get a 6 or a 7, the double play is not guaranteed. You go to the pivot man option. So we're in column 6 pivot man option right here. And with the ball being hit to the second baseman, which I believe is what it was, 4-2, yep, it went to Lopes. That means Bill Russell is the pivot man. Bill Russell is a 2. So we go here to the pivot man defensive rating, he's a 2. So in column 6 with this 2, a 1 through 5 is a double play. A 6 is a fielder's choice. So unless we roll a 6, it's going to be a double play that ends the inning. And we do get a 6. It's a fielder's choice. So Geronimo, extra stretch on his run there, and he beat it out. So 2 down, and Don Warner the batter, but he will not bat. It'll be Johnny Bench, who actually pinch hit for Warner in the real game. So not doing anything funky with that. That's what McNamara did in real life. And it certainly makes sense to do it here. Even though Warner does have 2, I don't know how unbelievable hits he got, but Johnny Bench will come on and he will catch the 9th as well. So he pinch hits in the 8th and he catches in the 9th. So with 2 outs and a runner at first, Johnny Bench a chance. 1 home run can tie the game. 1-5, that's not going to happen. 1-5 is a 4. 1-5 is a 4 here. That's an 8. 8 is a pop out to third, and that's going to end the inning. So Johnny Bench unable to get the job done as a pinch hitter. Ball game score remains 3-1. And now Reggie Smith is back out. Now Tomlin only faced 1 batter, but now we got some righties coming up after Reggie Smith. So they're going to let Tomlin pitch to Smith because, for only one reason, and that is if we get a column 6 row 4 against a right-hander, Reggie Smith would probably hit a home run. Against a left-hander, that's reduced to a double. So that's the only reason why I'm keeping Tomlin in there. But we will get, after him, a new pitcher for the Reds. And we'll actually get a double switch because pitcher's, well, I actually want to get a double switch because he's going to be pinch hit 4 in the 9th anyway. So let's see here how we're going to work this. Let's see. Okay, I forgot to put the 0 in the 8th inning. That's what threw me off. We are in the bottom of the 8th. So we're not going to worry about double switch because the pitcher would be pinch hit 4 anyway. So we're going to go to after Tomlin pitches to Reggie Smith, we're going to go to Tom Hume out of the bullpen for the Reds. So right now Tomlin against Reggie Smith. 5-5 is a 20, and a 5-6 is a 3. It's 23, and that is a walk. And we're going to go to action chart M. So we can't take Tomlin out yet until we finish the action chart, because that happens. I'm going to say it happens before we make a pitching change. So action chart M, that's a 5. And a 5 is a wild pitch chance. And it says here, if blue die is higher than wild pitch rating, all runners advance. Well, the blue die is a 6, so that's higher than anybody's wild pitch rating, no matter who you had. So that is a wild pitch. So Tomlin walks Smith and then throws a wild pitch with Garvey up there. And puts Garvey at second with nobody out. Now they could walk. Puts Reggie Smith at second with nobody out. They could walk Garvey because he had that big double last time and take on Baker and Say and set up a double play chance. And that's what they're going to do. They're going to walk Garvey intentionally, and Tomlin will stick around for that. And now we go to the bullpen as Tom Hume will come in, the right-hander. Tom Hume will be in to try to get out of this mess. He's facing Dusty Baker, first and second, nobody out. Bottom of the 8th, 3-1 game. Dodgers trying to add to the lead. 3-4. 3-4 is a 57, which is a rare play chance. So we're going to roll one die. If it's odd, we go to the rare play chart. If it's even, we go to a dribbler to the mound. If it's a 1, then we're going to check the foul territory on the stadium. It's a 3, so we're going to the rare play book. So the rare play book with the runners at first and second, and nobody out. Runners at first and second. With nobody out. So we're going to roll. We'll roll all 3. We're just really counting the red and white. That's a 10. So we're going to check a 10. And we go over to this side. Number 10, nobody out on the runners at first and second chart. 10, nobody out. Grounder to short, interference. Shortstop gloves the ball and flips to second base for the force out, but runner's hard slide prevents relay to first. Umpire rules offensive interference on the runner for sliding out of the baseline, declaring both him and the batter out. Other runner is sent back to second base if the side is not retired. So how about that? Interference, they're going to score that a double play. And on top of that, Reggie Smith doesn't even advance. He stays at second base. So I learned something there on the rules. I would have thought he would have gotten third, but that's not what they say. So it's going to be called a 6-4 on the force play of Garvey. And I guess you give 4 unassisted because he's the closest fielder to the runner sliding in. So don't know the particulars on that, but that seems logical that you would do a 6-4, 4 unassisted double play. But that's why it's under the rare play, because it's rare. All right, now Ron Say is up. Now they could walk Say and pitch to Russell, but Say is 0 for 3, and the runner on second, so you're not worried about a home run so much as you are a base hit. So I'm going to go ahead and pitch to Ron Say. Tom Hume with the delivery, 6-2, and that could be trouble. We're in the shaded area. That's a 9. Could be serious trouble here, because anything's still going to get a base hit, most likely. Could be a home run. It's a 23, which means it's a 6. So that drops from a 9 to a 6, but still, 6-1 is a 1. That's a 7. So that makes it a 7, but a 7 is still a single to left field. Runner on second base may try to score, and defense may try for runner at the plate. So let's show this in the book, because this is kind of an important at bat. So let's show this in the spiral bound here. We are in column 6, and we rolled a 7. So it says here single to left, and it says runner advances 1 base, runner on second may try to score, and defense may try for run at the plate. Well, obviously they're going to try for it because they want to cut that run off. If there's a throw at home, roll 1 die versus runner's speed. If the die is higher, he is out. If not higher, he scores. Runner on first goes to third. There is no runner on first. So basically, we're checking against the runner's speed, and if the die is higher, he's out. Well, the speed of the runner at first base, the runner at first base, at second base is Reggie Smith, who's a 4, I think. Reggie Smith, let's get his speed rating. Reggie Smith is actually a 3 right here. That's a speed rating. So we're going to roll 1 die. If it's a 4, 5, or 6, he's out at the plate. 1, 2, or 3, he scores. 2, he scores, so he beat the throw. Got it under the tag of Sosha. And that's a big RBI single there from Ron Say. Nice insurance run. That run is charged to Tomlin. Increases the lead to 4-1. And that brings up Bill Russell. Hume trying to get out of this mess. It's already a mess, kind of too late, I guess. 3-1 is a 4, 3-6 is a 4. That's a total of 8 in column 3, and 8 in column 3 is a single to center field. So the hit parade continues. Runner advances 1 base, check with third base coach for extra bases. So we're going to look at the third base coach. Third base coach, the base hit went to center field. So it says here to go for throws to third base, there's no change on a center fielder. So we look at the center fielder's arm. That is Geronimo. He's a 4. The base runner, Ron Say, is a 2. So that's a -2, aggregate -2. Let's see here. I don't see anything that gives them a boost for there being 2 outs. So I don't see anything that says that. So we're going to go here under the -2 category to see if he gets to third base. Now, if he rolls a 6 or a 10, he's out. Anything higher than 6, he at least has to hold. The only way he can get extra bases is 2 through 5. So we'll see what happens. It's a 6, so that means he's out right here. -2, he is out. So he is out trying to go to third. They tried to get aggressive. I figured they were playing with house money, I guess. He is out. Geronimo throws him out 8-5 as Ray Knight applies the tag. But the extra run comes in. It is 4-1 Dodgers as we go to the top of the 9th. And first thing for the Reds is a pinch hitter because Hume is due up. So he will be called back, of course, for a pinch hitter. And the pinch hitter against the lefty Steve Howe, the pinch hitter is going to be, well, they don't have a whole lot in the way of lefties because they used them all in the, or in the righties, I'm sorry. Let's see. They are going to use Ken Griffey, even though it's lefty on lefty. He's the best hitter they have on the bench. So Ken Griffey is going to lead things off. Ken Griffey Sr. Pinch hitting here in the 9th. So Ken Griffey pinch hitting here against Steve Howe. Howe trying to wrap up the save. 1-3 for Griffey is a 3. 1-5 is a 4. That's a 7. That is a pop out to second base. And there's one away. And my time is almost running out, so I'm going to kind of speed things up here. I won't have time to chat when the game's over. I'm just going to have to kind of end it when the game's over. So sorry about that. Here's Collins. We have gone over an hour. 3-3 for Collins is a 5. 3-2 for Howe is a 2. Total of 7 in column 3. That's a single. Plus there's a plus sign, but you have the option of not worrying about a steal when it doesn't make sense. You're down by 3 in the 9th. You're not going to steal. So Collins will be at first, but he will not steal, obviously. Not going to run yourself out of an inning like that. Here's Oster. 2-3. 2-3 is a 2. And a 2-1 is a 3. It's total of 5. That's a strikeout. So 2 down. 1 out away from finishing it off. It's Dave Concepcion. 5-1 is a 2. 5-5 is a 1. It's total of 3. Ground out to second. That's the ball game. Dodgers win it by the final score of 4-1. That's going to do it for Manic Monday as my time is up. I'm almost at 65 minutes. Hope you enjoyed that. And until next Manic Monday, we will see you down the road.